Well, hello. It's been a while since I've put anything up, and been meaning to do a video on this TV for quite a while. What you're looking at is now a very rare television in New Zealand. It's a Bell Coloursonic Model 3. It has the TVC2 chassis in it. Bell made quite a range of black and white TVs in the 60s, mostly all valve. I think all of them were valve. But they did branch out into colour in the 70s, and they made three models, the TVC1, the TVC2, and the TVC3. This one being the TVC2 is sort of in between the two. It has the first of the inline gun, like the Mark II K9s had. Yeah, it's very similar to the TVC1 in the electronics and the layout, but yeah, it doesn't have all the convergence adjustments or the convergence board that the TVC1 has. These TVs were actually a Philips EDAC kit set. They weren't, well, I'm not quite sure whether they were actually meant to go into production as a kit set TV, but they were basically made, or according to someone who knew a little about all the Alcoma color set. So it uses predominantly Philips components and even the Philips tube and Philips deflection yoke. So yeah, when you look inside, when we get around to looking inside the thing, you'll soon see it's sort of reminiscent of Philips. These sets were also, they weren't liked by most of the repair technicians. They were not the most reliable of things. They broke down often. There are lots of faults, issues with them. I've got like pages and pages of like tech bulletins and all that sort of thing. But yeah, the fact that I managed to get this one, yeah, it pretty much came out of the blue. The owner just wanted to get rid of it. He'd already taken it down to the recycling station, and they said to him, "Look, we're going to charge you $25 if we've got to take that TV off your trailer." And he's like, "Oh no, bugger that!" So he took it home, and he thought, surely somebody must want this thing. And he jumped online and just happened to Google, retro TV collectors on Google, and my blog page came up, and that's how he contacted me. And yeah, he didn't want anything for it, although it was a 2.5-hour drive to get it, but I happened to be going up that way that weekend, so I just killed two birds with one stone, and yeah, managed to go and get it and bring it back. And yeah, so it's feel quite fortunate to actually have this set, and the fact that I've actually also managed to get it going as well is quite something too. But yeah, I said this video again, it was not pre-rehearsed. This is all just on the fly. So yeah, so here's a sort of an idea of the modifications and updates they must have done to the. Obviously, I'm not quite sure how long this chassis run for, but I think there was a date of somewhere of July 77, I seem to read somewhere. But gee, you can see there's quite a few change notices or changes to this set here. I don't know whether this one has actually had any, whether this has had all the modifications to it, I don't know. But yes, you feel quite fortunate to actually have all this too, because all the service information would have gotten chucked out, decades ago. So yeah, interesting JVC. But yeah, I mean, I've got in the garage, I've got like a little ring binder full of mod sheets and fault notes and tech notes for the TVC2 and the TVC1. But I'll give you a bit of a look at the front of it anyway. So here's the front panel with your volume, brightness, contrast, and yeah, volume, color, brightness, and contrast. These are actually capacitive. Your touch panel, touch capacitive touch panel tuning. And one of the faults would change channels by itself, although mine hasn't done that yet. I'm sure that's probably, I mean, and it's a 26-inch console. I think it's a 410X tube, but yeah, once we swing it around, you'll get to see the internals. But yeah, no, I feel very fortunate to actually have this set, considering how rare it is. Back in the 1990s, when I was fixing a lot of Philips K9s, I'd actually get these from a tip, or from, you know, I'd buy them basically just direct to pull the tubes out to put in K9s. And I always, you know, I tried to get these going at the time. I tried to get them going quickly to see what the tube was like. I could never get them working properly, so I thought I'll stuff it. I'll just, you know, every set of get I'll just record for the tube, and that's exactly what I did. Just did that. So here's the service manual anyway. So Majestic TVC2 color TV service manual, and it's actually really quite comprehensive. It goes through and explains how the set works, what each chip does. So yeah, good thing is it does use quite a few ICs as well. So it's not really antiquated in some respects. The TVC one is very similar to this. And I've got a really tidy TVC one actually, which I might, towards the end of the video, I might be able to uncover it and show it to you as well, because I feel this is, you know, this is kind of a piece, it's kind of a piece of history really, which is pretty much gone. I mean, I don't think I've seen one of these sets appear locally online through Trade-Me or any other place for sale for decades. I mean, you know, I was getting these sets, I said, from the tip in the 90s, and even then they weren't, well, they were still around, but you didn't see many of them. Quite not sure how many were sold, but these were budget TV, and the Philips K9 was a hell of a lot more expensive than these. But you know, it goes through and it explains, pretty much explains everything. It's got the IF circuit diagram here. Man, you can feel free to skip this part if you find this boring. I said I'm just rolling with how this video goes. I find if I pre-rehearse things, sometimes I end up spending half an hour trying to correct my mistakes or doing several outtakes or rehearsals. So I'm just going to see how this video rolls anyway. Yeah, so it's basically a bit of a rundown on the circuit description, what everything does and how it works and what IC does what and so forth. So yeah, it's you know, I sort of feel, you know, for a TV that was meant to be a budget TV, and maybe they did this to be try-hard to make it seem more impressive than what it actually was. But yeah. In fact, there was a quirky fault with this thing too, which actually, you know, and all this the circuit description actually aided me in actually finding the fault. It had a really weird luminance fault, and I'll get to that in a second. At a couple of, well, I'll get to the actual. I've got a little bag of bits which I changed, and I'm probably just going to go from memory. Try and remember exactly what this is. It was several months ago now, so a few months ago. But yeah, so just keeps going on through, and it's even got I think it's got set up somewhere towards the back. It's got a whole setup procedure as well. I wonder what poor bugger had to sit there and type all this up. It would have taken a while. That's your horizontal. East-west pincushion, east-west amplifier, pincushion correction, and all that sort of stuff. Yep. And I seem to recall there was a fault in the east-west pincushion correction as well, but I just can't remember that, to be honest. So yeah, you kind of get the general idea of how everything works. Power supply uses a switch mode power supply, and they like to go over current, and they like to blow up too. There's a couple of resistors that would go high, according to a service tech I was talking, an old tried service tech I was talking to recently about these. And he actually quite liked them. He actually said these sets actually weren't too bad. People made them out to be worse than what they were. They just didn't understand them. But he was telling me he managed to had a little service jig set up for testing the power supplies. So yeah, it's pretty much the book anyway. Oh yeah, here it goes. Here's your whole setup procedure for you. There's all your convergence, color purity, final static, dynamic adjustments, all that sort of thing. So yeah, very, very informative service manual. And here is the circuit diagram. Here we go. So it's their consolidated video limited chassis TVC to issue date, the 1976. So 76, 77, probably maybe 78 possibly they went to, or maybe for a couple of years, not quite sure. It's yeah, circuit's actually quite easy to follow. It's nicely laid out. Each section's broken down. So yeah, for fault, actually was pretty good actually using this to fault find. Was pretty good. Okay, all right, so what I'll do now, I will move it around. It's on these really atrocious blooming casters too, they're actually metal. Of course, the bit we all want to see is inside. Da, 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 da. Here we go. You just have to excuse the lighting. I'm just in my kitchen, so... But yeah, so the tube is an A 66 500X. So this is the first of the inline gun CRTs that Philips brought out. And I think, like I said, the K9 Mark II, or probably in Europe, the K11 employed the same tube as well. So yeah. Another problem with these is they were prone to burning up. These Molex plugs carrying horizontal and vertical deflection, quite a bit of voltage and just basically current would be flowing through these plugs here, and yeah, basically that sort of thing would happen. So it's not uncommon for some of these sets to actually catch fire. I remember hearing somebody had one of these and they went out, left it on, and the thing caught fire, and of course it ignited the back and burnt their curtains or something. So I did hear stories about these things catching fire. So here we go. So here's the scan board, or line output board. It houses everything. So separate LOPD and tripler arrangement. And as you can see, there's lots of Philips components in there. Philips caps, all the trim pots, transistors. It's all basically it's a mixture of Japanese and Philips. So down there, that's the frame output. and convergence. That's the east-west pincushion amplifier. That's the horizontal drive oscillator board or sync. That's still done on the TVA 920. Of course, that's the you've got your red, green, and blue cutoffs there, and screen adjustments. Down there's the focus pot, and then all your other various deflection capacitors, yoke caps, DC blocking, all that sort of thing. Capacitors up in there. Move over to this side here. We've got this is our video chroma luminance part of the board. Down here, that's your front IF strip tuner and sound is down on there. So yeah, actually, as I was saying, actually, yeah, it's, imagine if this was all full of transistors, oh God, it would be like the TX 574 or the Thorn 3500. This thing would be an absolute bloody pig. Now in there, that's the logic board for, I think, for the channel change, the capacitive touch channel change electronics. I think those are the chips. And up in there, you've got all your controls and on-off switch and that sort of thing. And this is the power supply, the mighty power supply. I'll actually take this off so you can get a better look at that supply. Look at that bore too, I suppose, as well. So Philips a la Philips everywhere. Stay there, you bugger. So yeah, here's the power supply. I think I can actually pull the power supply forward a little bit. Here we go. And that's the power supply. I have not actually had that out. It actually doesn't look like it's even been out, to be honest. It could have been out, but it's yeah. Power supplies are also known to go bang. This one hasn't yet. And I have no spare parts. I have no boards. I have no spare boards or any, I've got components, but I've got no spare boards or any particular part for the set. I don't have any boards for the bells at this stage. But you never know. Something could always turn up, as these things always do. Make sure that's on properly. It looks like it's actually slipped a wee bit, actually. But yes, I'm going to demonstrate this thing going to. Hopefully I haven't disturbed anything while I'm poking around. Yeah, but as I was saying, really not. Yeah, I could probably think of far worse things to work on. Some of the older Nationals are a little bit ropey. I think it did have some remote feature as well, and it's your varicap tuning as well. And some of those carbon tracks need to be cleaned because the tuning is can be a little bit fiddly at times. Oh, and down there, of course, is the speaker down under there, and I think that's the grills off the power supply cage. So we'll put those back. I think I've showed up here, and yeah, there's been a few little repairs I've actually tidied this up. This actually looked pretty shocking. This was pretty rough. I've tidied up a few things on here. For the people that got it off said, oh, it was going when it went into storage. Well, I don't believe that. There was no way it could have gone. Well, it might have gone, but it wouldn't have gone for very long. So yeah, now where's that bag of bits? I've changed up here. So these are all the parts that I've changed. There's also some other screws and bits and pieces too. Oh, there's also the cover screws and is that off? Oh yeah, no, no, that's off of now. Let me just move all this other stuff out of the way. So, but yeah, so you've got your flyback tuning cap, or two of them I think from memory. When I first powered the set on, it came on initially, and my daughter said, "Oh, Dad, there's a whole lot of smoke coming from the back of the TV," and then the picture sort of shrunk and the power supply started to protest. So I quickly turned it off and looked around, and I could see, I could sort of roughly see where it was coming from, and turned it on again briefly and saw that there was a 4.7 ohm resistor belching smoke. And that was this resistor here, 440, was smoking up because its BOX55 went dead short. This is what, yeah, so that was these two from memory. So replaced those two and then powered it on again, and we had a picture, but we had no, what looked to be like a video, had a bright green screen with flyback lines indicating a video driver problem, shorted cathode, or something to do with the video, with the green drive to the tube. There was something up with that, and then some more smoke started to come out. And it's like, oh really? And I could see it coming out from around the lopty, thinking, oh god, because apparently the lopties and these things are prone to failing. And again, I sort of watched the picture sort of shrunken, and I looked a bit closer and thought, and I looked and thought, that cap doesn't look too happy. So this cap, this cap here, this cap, I managed to catch this cap smoking. I powered it on again, and quickly and saw this cap was belching smoke. So that one failed, and that cap there is, where is that? It's in, where is that cap again? Where is the damn thing? It's, oh, there we go. That 0.91 being fed straight off the, basically the horizontal output, I think in series with the deflection yoke. So that was so yeah, that cap was also the first one to actually belch some smoke. Yeah, so luckily I had one I could actually put in there. So yeah, once I sorted all that out, the set actually stayed on without belching any further smoke. So I next addressed the problem with the green drive, or the drive to the tube. It actually wasn't. It wasn't. It's funny. It was actually what it was. And after a lot of poking around, I just it didn't help that the chroma chip had a couple of legs eaten off it. So I thought maybe that's the problem there. And that was a TBA 530. Which is RGB metric chip. So I replaced that and made no difference. So I started sort of scoping around here and finding, looking at waveforms, and everything was correct. The red and green were correct, but the green had nothing. It just had nothing at all. So I thought, okay, if it's not the IC, changed not the IC. We've got scope. I information on the red and blue, but not the green. Right, so let's go one step further back. So I changed this chip here. No different. So I looked at the waveforms on here. I had a waveform there, but no waveform there. Okay, what's the common problem? What's the common denominator? This little choke. So that little choke was open. I think this thing must have had mice in it. You can actually see where it's been chewed in more than one or two places. So I measured the resistance of one of the other ones, is about 4.7 ohms, and I just basically for now I've just got a resistor tacked in there. It's fine. It's fine for now. But I've got another good a TV repair colleague has got one. He's going to send it down to me at some stage. So yeah, those are the faults I sort of encountered with. Oh, and also had an east-west fault too. The picture was basically no east-west, no width. Pin cushion wasn't doing anything, and it ended up being the BD237 that had gone short. A common fault with these, as you can see by the crosses. Measured all the voltages. All the voltages were sort of good up to here, and then everything went a bit screwball from here on. And yeah, that transistor, I think was either open or had a partial short. And BD233, it's been BD233, 232 or 237, I'm quite sure actually, but 233. I can't remember exactly what the specs were, but what I replaced was actually a bit more grunty than the original anyway. And just replaced a handful of some of these old electrodes, sort of checked a bit crappy. It was someone's sort of afterthought blotch on the vertical board. I can't quite remember exactly where that was. And yeah, that resistor there, I changed that on spec, and it's good. Yeah, I mean, at the moment, I said the set's running, and it's still got a couple of little issues with it, but I'm not overly worried about them at this stage because the set's running, and I'll address those problems if and when the set actually fails again. But it's actually been surprisingly reliable. Considering everything. Now, why is that hanging off? Why is that hanging? Did I bump that before? I'm not quite sure why that's hanging off. Okay, well, we'll just put that back on, I guess. I don't quite know why that's. Oh, look, it's interesting. I'll look at that later. I think is it to do with the vertical? No, that's some jumper thing for the vertical, but I can't remember exactly what. Doesn't matter, I'll look at it later. If there's some problems with the picture, I'll pull it off when we go to demonstrate it. But yeah, so that yellow cap, the one in series with the horizontal deflection winding, that's what I replaced with. It's a 1000 volt, I think, a Mitsushita one. These have all been replaced at some stage by somebody else. The Lopti's an aftermarket one, it's not the original. The Lopti's were prone to failing than these. I think it was a really common problem. This has been replaced too at some point. This is, probably one of the. I think it was they last used it in about 30 years ago. So that's probably the 1990s, mid 90s, they reckon. So yeah, that would be about right. Yeah, so this is where those little chokes are, or coils, and yeah, I've just put a resistor, 4.7 ohm resistor in there, and you replacing that basically restored green, and yep, restored the color. Basically had my picture back, which I thought was really good. Yeah. Well, what I'll do now then is I will spin it around, reconnect the VCR, and show you it going. Waiting for the camera to focus. Here we go. I just had to do a temporary repair to the audio side of things. When I spun it around and turned it on, had no volume. Basically, the volume was up full blast, so I had to sort of move a couple of plugs around and sort of bend a pin. So I think there's a broken connection or something there in the in the audio, but hopefully it won't come on blasting like it was. No, it'll be right. And there you have it. One good thing about this is it has actually got a really good tube in it, so I was quite lucky in that respect. You know, because to be honest, I don't think these TVs actually sort of ran. I don't think these sets actually worked long enough to actually wear the tubes out. They probably spent half their life in being blooming fixed, or they just got dumped because they were too unreliable. I was talking to a friend of mine. He said he brought one of these in the 70s for his parents, and yeah, the thing just kept breaking down. It just was so unreliable, just kept breaking down. He ended up getting rid of it and getting the Philips K9, and that thing went for damn near 30 odd years before it even gave any issues. But yeah, no, tube's really good. Of course, the artifacts in the camera make it sort of a bit flickery and things, but you can probably turn the brightness down a wee bit and the colour down a little bit, so you can it's the bloody contrast, you dork. Yeah, there you go. It's probably not as bright now as it was, but now it's kind of changed a little bit. Now I kind of had it where it was, but you know, it's plenty of brightness, plenty of go there still. So the colour we more interesting, but there you go. But so yeah, there you have it. This is the Bell TVC2 in operation, and like I said, I've been using it to play. I've got several boxes of videotapes I need to play and look through and see what's on them. And I'm actually about to put one on now. It's from TV3 in the 1990s, circa 1993. But I'm going to play the adverts. I can't see YouTube flagging a copyright on some New Zealand adverts because there's no music, there's no actual, you know, television or movie content on this next clip I'm about to play. So hopefully we should be right. So, but yeah, so even the geometry is not too bad. Convergence is okay. In fact, I've had to do very little adjustment to the picture actually. Just had to sort of correct it when I fixed the east-west problem. But yeah, all right. I'll just hold fire and I'll just play. I'll get this video and other tape and throw it in. One thing I did forget to mention, it's actually got a purity problem too. You can't quite see it, but it's in this area down here. You actually might see it a bit, and you actually might see it on some of this next footage. Possibly you might see discoloration, but here we go. So this is TV3 from 1993. These are New Zealand 90s adverts.
Tonight on Local Sport, a sin bin special with Mains and Fitzpatrick on the eve of the All Blacks tour. And we talk to our cricketers about the Tour of Oz. We take the leap in Queensland.
Yep, see it there, see the purple? That's the purity era.
There's soccer, Kiwi Sumos, and Gary Freeman fronts up about the test at Wembley. That's tonight at 8:30.
G'day. I'm fine. Now, but earlier, blocked sinuses. Took some Sudafed tablets. Cleared me up without making me drowsy. So London, here we come, eh?
Maximum strength Sudafed. Fast relief, not fast asleep.
Once upon a time, there were three bears. They lived in the forest, in a house. There was a great big bed for the papa bear, a middle-sized bed for the mama bear, and a wee little bed for the baby bear.
And yeah, I'm not going to muck around with that purity error until I've actually got to work on my set again. So just leave it. I'll just leave it for now, I think. God, these ads are cheesy.
Soft main fridge uses moist air to keep food fresher, longer. offline from the innovators of Fisher & Paykel.
It works!
It's good for my skin.
You can try looking after yourself, David. Then Mum would have nothing to do. I'll look after my stomach.
Kellogg's Sultana brand, the goodness of fibre-rich flakes with a great taste of juicy sultanas.
Maybe one day you'll do something that's good for you.
No thanks.
Kellogg's Sultana brand, health food made tasty.
Support your rescue helicopter service with the Street Appeal, Friday, October 15. And don't miss the Lifelight Trust Emergency 111 Day. Dramatic rescues, displays and heaps more on Wellington's Frank Kitts Park and Lambton Harbour. Sunday, October 17. Starts 10 a.m.
Summer's coming, fiesta. Summer's coming, fiesta. Now on Next New World. Fresh fruits and vegetables. Deli foods delectable. Barbecues out in the sun. Groceries for everyone. Come on, pick up your heels. Hop on the super deals. Just get the coupon now. Summer's here, I hear you shout. Summer's coming, fiesta. Now on Next New World.
It's the comedy part.
Right, better stop it there because that could be some potential YouTube content that I want to flag. But yeah, be interesting to see if they actually if they bag a copyright on that. I guess we'll see when I put the video out. But yeah, that's a look at the Bell TVC2. I hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, it's like I said, it's been meaning to do one on it for a while, and I just decided tonight I'd just do it as a spur of the moment thing. So yeah, hopefully I didn't make too many muck-ups and repeat myself. I probably did, but you know, oh God. You'd sort of think I'd be quite used to making videos these days, but nah, still get a little bit, you know, worried I'm going to stuff up or make a mistake or make a complete dick of myself. But hey, you know, I guess it's just the way it is. But yeah. And this here is the Bell TVC1. So this is the set I want to get onto next at some point. So this is the first generation of the Bells that they made. As you can see, it looks quite different to the one in the kitchen. And this uses a Delta gun. So this would be like 74, 75. And yeah, this set is actually, it's pretty mint. I don't think it's seen a lot of hours, to be honest. I don't think it's had a lot of use. It's in a really, really tidy condition. So, but where this is currently sitting, I'm going to have to move a whole lot of things to get it out. And a bit of a teaser for a video at some stage. There is another Unicorn TV. That is a Thorn TX574, which is also known as the Thorn 3500 for those viewers in the UK. So, yep, that's another set that's going to be unearthed at some point that I will definitely get onto. And yeah, we'll, I think that one's going to really try me, because that's going to probably be the color set from hell. I thought that Bell was going to be a bit of a bitch, but I think that what you're looking at here is going to be even worse. So I just thought I'd show you these two, so that they do exist. I got this one here for a measly $5, but I had to drive 8 hours one way to get it. So, but stay with family at the other end, and was certainly worth it. So yeah, just thought I'd show you those two TVs as well. There's also part of my collection that you haven't seen before. And there we have it. I'll wrap it up here, guys. Thanks for watching, and yeah, I guess keep a lookout for any future videos. Not quite sure what the next one will be, but you never know. Have got a couple of things upstairs I'm playing around with a couple of Philips F2, so maybe I'll do a video on those up next. So that's it. Take care, and catch you on the next one. Cheers for now.